Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name's Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
All right, so if you are an observant person and you follow us on Twitter, you already know that a couple of weeks ago, Lydia's making a face because she doesn't know what I'm going to say.
I have no idea. I don't follow her on Twitter.
That crazy Lydia.
Oh no, Lydia doesn't know where Diane is steering things.
If you would like to know where to follow us, it's at Boy Band Break, BREAK, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, gmail.com,
And Anchor.
and everywhere.
Can I finish my sentence
Yes,
now?
please.
All right. You would know that a couple of weeks ago, Chinzia and I had an opportunity to meet with AJ.
Yay!
Yes. Very good, very good.
And I promised that all the details would be on the podcast, and here we are.
Yay!
Sophia was also there virtually.
Yes, I was.
I was there in spirit.
Lydia was there in spirit. And yes, so I figured we could just quickly talk about that, and then I have something else for us to talk about.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Wonderful.
So, I don't know if everybody knows, but what?
Are you bleeding?
I don't.
Is her head bleeding? No, move your hand. Move your hand.
Move my hand.
Julia, stop picking at your head. You're trying to get your
Yeah.
mom.
Okay.
Okay, anyways.
Sorry, I will
Okay,
stop
so
bleeding.
where did this AJ thing even come from?
So he hit, if you don't already know this, AJ and Cheryl Burke from
Dancing with the Stars
have a podcast with this guy whose name is
Renee Elizondo Jr.
Okay. And he is someone.
AJ's
Apparently he was
No, but
married.
he's someone.
He was married to Janet Jackson.
No, but he has a job.
He's a dancer.
Well, he directed the Chances video.
Yes.
I think
That was like a one-time thing. I don't
Was
think
he
that's
a
like a
dancer?
salary.
dancer.
I think he's a dancer.
Okay.
Because that's how we met.
Can
That's how we met Janet Jackson.
do-
So,
Can
yeah.
we Wikipedia him, Chinzia?
Sure.
That's a
continue
great
to
idea.
talk.
Anyways, they have a podcast that's called Pretty Messed Up. And so to, I guess, celebrate the end of Dancing with the Stars and season 1 of their podcast, we don't know what that means.
He is a
'cause
dancer.
We just do a weekly podcast every week, every Sunday. Here we are. We don't have seasons.
Quick pause. Renee Elizondo Jr. is a Mexican dancer, songwriter, and music video director.
There
He
you
was
go.
married to American singer Janet Jackson from 91 to 2000.
That's a long run.
And
That's
he
pretty
is
good.
58 years old.
Perfect.
All right. God bless.
Anyways, they did a live podcast thing so that you could log in and watch and like submit questions and things. And they had
Like a video, obviously.
they had Jenna, what's her last name? Something
Val.
Johnson. Jenna Johnson on from Dancing with the Stars. They had
Justina Machado.
Justina Machado, who was a star on Dancing with the Stars.
She's an actress.
No, she's an actress. She's a star.
She's an
So
actress.
I just mean like Jenna is a pro. She's a
the
dancer.
pro.
Yeah.
And then
Did he have Carol Basket on the show?
No.
Come on.
So,
But Nick Carter was on the show.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
way to steal the thunder.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know that was she said it. I didn't say anything. I asked about Carol Basket.
story of my life.
I'm just
They steal
saying.
my words.
She said, was it? I said no.
Your words.
She shouldn't ask questions.
I don't know.
Anyways, okay, it's fine. Anyways, yes, Nick was also on. There was a whole thing, we were joking around, because apparently earlier in the day, AJ was like, I texted Nelly, but I guess Nelly never texted him back. Because
Shocking.
he was not on.
Nelly won, right?
No.
Who the fuck won?
Oh,
yes, the Bachelorette lady.
And when we're talking about Nelly, is it the hot?
Yeah.
Oh, hot.
He was number 3. He
Oh, wow.
third.
So surprisingly, Justina was 4th place, and I was like, "Excuse me."
I love Nelly. Come on.
Nelly was good. I enjoyed his
Like Nelly
trying to
Furtado?
take it all, you know?
It's getting hot.
Oh, that Nelly. Oh my God. Did I just ask that question? Wow.
attention to
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
words.
My blah, blah, blah. Go
Rapper
ahead. Yes.
Nelly.
Yes.
So Justina was 4th, Nelly was 3rd, Neve from Catfish was 2nd, and then Justina and Neve are my 2 that I from the beginning, and then Caitlin
Bristow
and Artem.
won.
And I was happy about that. So.
I don't know who they are, but I'm going to nod in
Caitlin
agreement.
Bristow she was on The Bachelor, and then she was
Canadian?
The Bachelorette. She is Canadian.
Yay, we did something.
We always do something
last week.
great.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Anyways, that's not the point. The point is the pretty messed up people who include AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys, not some other AJ.
I don't know, Lydia. You're the one being a weirdo. Anyway, so they have this podcast. It's a weekly podcast.
Okay.
They started it when Dancing with the Stars was on. So it's called Pretty Messed Up because Cheryl, AJ, and Renee all had addiction issues.
Oh, really?
So they're all in recovery and they're sober right now.
Oh, serious?
So it's talking about addiction. So they obviously had substance abuse.
Was that they all had the same addiction?
I don't think so.
Alcoholism for all of them. I think Renee and probably
Possibly
AJ
drugs.
did drugs as well. I don't think Cheryl, maybe.
I don't think. Well,
I think Cheryl was just.
She was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So and she is married to Matthew Lawrence, who is the brother of Joey Lawrence.
Oh.
Joey Lawrence is the woe.
Oh.
This is his brother.
This is his brother. Anyways,
Oh, not all right, I see.
Good difference.
so their first few episodes was kind of just talking about their journeys and stuff. Then they would have like the stars that have come off the show, kind of talk about their like the Dancing with the Stars, and if they had some sort of addiction issue or trauma or something, they would talk about that. And they had like Kris Jenner was on the show. They had Jack Osborne.
They also had Kevin.
They had Kevin from the Backstreet Boys. So they've had like guests throughout.
Has Kevin had an addiction?
No.
Okay.
They
But
just
it was
wanted
kind of
him
like
on.
talking about him dealing with AJ during these times, right? Things like that.
Like
that's
saved
gotta
his
be
that
life.
time when he broke down AJ's door and tried to
saved
get him
his
to
life
come to his
basically.
aid.
He did?
They've talked about this many times, buddy.
Oh.
Okay, so they were supposed to sing at a baseball game.
Yes.
And then Kevin was supposed to go on a date with his wife, who wasn't his wife at this time. And they're like, AJ's like, no, we got to do this baseball game. It's like, okay, cool. So they were getting ready to go to the baseball game the next day, and he wouldn't come out of his room.
Because apparently
he was so,
he had been awake for 2 days doing coke, and then he was AJ describes it always as like I was in a coke coma, because then you just like sleep for a day because you've been awake for so long.
Oh, wow.
So then Kevin broke down his door to get into his bedroom, try to get him up. But then he had another door to his bedroom that he had locked, and he knew that Kevin was on the other side, and he was scared of Kevin, and Kevin couldn't break through that door. Apparently. Anyways.
Wow.
And then apparently Kevin said some shit through the door like, you're dead to me, blah, blah, blah. And all this crap.
God.
And that was kind of like a
Wake-up call. Like a wake-up call
come to
for him.
moment.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know, but so then obviously he's been on and off the wagon for years. Now he's 10, 11 months sober. Ever since like the
Almost
beginning of
a
the
year.
pandemic.
Like coke and drugs, or just
Everything.
I mean, coke and alcohol.
The turning point for AJ was that he went to a Shania Twain concert in Vegas and then got like super drunk and whatever.
High and shit.
And then he came back, and Rochelle had a thing that like if he was doing anything fine, but he couldn't be around his kids when he's drunk.
Yeah,
or
fair.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess he had come home, and then the Lyric, the youngest daughter, came up and was all like, whatever, to go give him a hug. And then she said, "You don't smell like my daddy."
Ooh.
And that
Yeah.
was like,
Heartbreaking.
and that was his wake up call. So he's been like off he goes to an AA meeting every single day at 4:30.
Wow.
Like virtual meetings.
Nice.
Whatever. So Renee, he's been in his life for over 20 years. It's his buddy. So he's seen him through the ups and downs.
Wow.
And then also Renee's had like some relapses and stuff. And Cheryl's been sober a few years
I think
now.
she said 2 years.
2 years now, I think. So she was like, I think at her engagement party, she got super drunk, and then and her dad had just died or whatever.
Ooh,
So she
bad
was
timing.
So then she decided to become sober as well. So they're all kind of like facing their demons and stuff. So that's what this podcast is about.
Wow.
And then they'd have obviously other guests on as well. So, and then because this was like the last episode, because the finale had aired the day before, so they always record the episode after Dancing with the Stars. So they would do their dance, and then they'd go to Renee's house and record the episode and then post it. So they had like whatever, and they're like, this is it. And they said they're going to keep this podcast going.
Nice.
Because apparently both AJ and Cheryl had like been working on podcasts, and then their agent or something put them together.
Okay.
And that's kind of how that ends up going. So,
It's extremely close to my face.
so anyway, so apparently this podcast is going to keep going.
Okay.
So that's their thing. And AJ and Renee go golfing every day and stuff.
But I think it's done till January. Is that their whole thing?
I don't know.
I think so.
Is AJ
So
and
they
the
did-
lady?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking.
She's married to Matthew Lawrence and he's married to Rochelle.
Well, I'm just saying.
No.
You know,
No. They
long nights in that podcasting studio.
She's
With Renee watching.
Oh yeah, good point. Okay,
She's recording from her house. AJ and Renee are recording from AJ.
If anything,
Renee's house.
AJ and Renee.
Well, he did live with Renee for like 9 months.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
back years ago.
Oh, neato.
They've talked about that. A few
Oh, God
times.
bless.
Anyways, it's a very good podcast, blah, blah, blah. Then they ended up doing this video thing where it was $15 to watch it. Or if you bought like meet and greets, it was included. And then
Don't tell the price of the meet and greet.
No.
Mom might be listening.
Why do you always do this?
Because
Would you shut up?
Moving along.
Okay.
So anyways, this is it. So anyways, so we did that thing. So then he did that, and then that was that. So Diane,
So
would you like
we
to talk?
got a loot chat also.
Yay.
So basically, you didn't have a choice. You had to meet all of them. So it wasn't like you couldn't just meet AJ. And because Cheryl does it separately. Although, you know what was weird?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this
That
right
AJ
now.
and Renee are at the same house.
Yes, but then on separate cameras for the not for the looped thing, but for like the podcast.
The podcast.
It looked like they were at different places, but then in the looped, all of a sudden they were at the same place.
Yeah, they were sitting beside each other.
So they were obviously in different rooms of Renee's house.
Oh.
So, but I think it was more for visuals, right? So then AJ could have his own square.
I
Renee could have his
guess.
own
That's
square.
Yeah.
There was like the three of them, and then their guest would come in, and then that person would leave, and then the next guest would come in.
I guess that makes sense
Yeah.
of why him and Renee were wearing headphones and then Cheryl wasn't. And
True.
a lot of the other people weren't. Nick was because he's a weirdo, but
He's a Twitch celebrity.
Come on.
Yes. So yeah. So if they were in the same room or whatever, they don't want to get the echo.
Yeah, exactly
true,
right.
true.
Exactly right.
So yeah, highlights from the thing. Nothing like super really interesting happened during the podcast, but Nick did talk about how that whole, I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast or not. We've definitely talked about AJ, but like the boys were on with AJ virtually in one of the episodes.
that
They
was
danced
Episode
with him.
4, I believe
Yes.
it was.
Wait.
Yes.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I saw that. It was like
They were like on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were like wearing their white outfits,
Yes.
and they were all there.
Yes, they were. Yes.
And they were
so-
like dancing with him at the same
Yes.
time.
Nick talked about how that all went down.
Because we were at the time, we were like, is
How-
this new footage or is this like from when they were on tour? Like, where did this come
We
from?
didn't
It
know
was-
like how it came to be.
Very confusing, and
It was
apparently
new footage.
it was
Yes.
new footage. Apparently, Dancing with the Stars sent them, like the four of them, a green screen and like a
ring light.
ring light, and we're like, you need to record this thing.
Yeah.
You need to be wearing all white. You need to like
This
whatever.
is the song you're dancing to. Do this dance.
Ooh.
And
yeah.
so Nick was like, the green screen they sent was like so small.
So you had to be like in a box
So
almost?
he wasn't
Yeah.
like it kept cutting off. He had to keep recentering, but he had to get his full body in there. but it was
So then he just
short
like went and bought his own green
Yeah,
screen.
good idea.
to like make the full size because he's like, this is not going to work because he's 6, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I didn't have white clothes, and I had to like suck into these white
So
pants.
he found like some white items in his closet, and he's like,
Poor
"They're too
guy.
tight," but I was just like, quarantine 10, like just put on his thing, right?
He's like, anything for AJ?
Yeah.
You know, and then they were talking about, because I guess they all recorded it separately. And then like Nick, for example, had, because they were like, it was so like awkward and small that, and then like whatever.
So when they
that
put
they
them all
weren't
together,
like they weren't all in sync.
Yeah.
And they were like, Howie or someone was like really huge, because I guess he did it like really close, and then Nick was like really far away, and they were like, it was all weird.
and then Kevin took a long time to submit his because he had to keep rewatching it.
Oh my God, that's so
asking his
Kevin.
wife if it was okay, and
That's
she's
so
like,
Kevin.
"It's fine." He's like, "No, I need to review this."
He's a perfectionist,
Oh
that's
my
why.
God.
Make sure it's good.
So yeah, so like the first, I think they said like the first few seconds or whatever, and then it all started off. Everybody was like perfect.
And
But then it just started kind of going awry, right?
And so then they were like, that's it, we're canceling it, the boys aren't going to be on. And
Yeah,
then
on
He's
the
like,
Sunday,
what the
right?
hell?
On
I've been
Sunday.
practicing all week that I'm going to be dancing with them. It's not.
Yeah.
So then what they ended up, whose idea was it?
it was there. They just said it was Cheryl and AJ's idea, or well, more Cheryl's, that
Instead of having all 4 up there,
they would just have them one at a
highlight
time.
one at a time. Like,
Yeah.
so then AJ is still dancing dancing in sync with them. So he can match up, but then they're
That's
like,
brilliant.
Yeah,
Cheryl, good job.
Yeah, good idea.
wow, they're like, you can't throw this away. Like, it's tomorrow. We can't do a new one. We can't get them to re-record.
Because they told him on Sunday night. Like,
Yeah, so that was cool. It was cool to get that little bit of like behind the scenes of how that went
It was a
down.
good
I thought
story.
it was
Yeah,
brilliant. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it was
And
good.
who would have thought that it was all a mistake?
Yeah.
See? Exactly.
So that was cool. I don't think they really said anything else that interesting. Not that I remember.
Didn't they just say he would have a video coming out?
Oh, yes.
Or-
Well, AJ's
Yes.
talking about his solo stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So he's scrapped the country album.
Oh no!
I know you're so sad about that,
He's going
Lydia.
back to his roots and his true self, and he's making a new album. Renee is going to be directing this video, and it's going to be released in January, I think they said. And
Nothing. Keep talking.
what are you doing?
Nothing.
You were looking at something. What is
There was
it?
something outside your window, but maybe it was a bird. It's fine.
Okay.
So anyways, yes. So, yeah. And was that in our call, or was it in the actual thing? that we talked
Both, maybe?
So AJ was kind of just talking about like how like the Harry Styles thing, and how like he wore a dress for Vogue, and how like so he kind of was like supporting him and stuff like that, and saying that he's also like done that before. So so we're very curious to see what this this thing is going to be, and obviously we support AJ 100%. So
Yes.
be yourself and do your own thing.
And then we don't know if we're going to get the video footage like we
From the
did
Looped.
like for Howie and for Nix when we did the Looped.
because when I emailed Loop, they said they weren't going to send it. But they also said that about the Nick one, and then ended up sending it a few days later. So we might get it. We may have kind of recorded it.
The thing is, I was holding my phone. So it's not the best quality of video.
So we're
But
gonna
it's
hold out a
something.
bit longer to see if Looped gives us something, and if they don't, then we'll try to figure
It
out. how to
could be
edit
that
The
by the,
bootleg version.
it could be that by the time you're hearing this, it'll already be up on our YouTube page. But if not, maybe we'll just upload the audio or something.
Yeah. So we don't have video of the Cheryl one because we were just testing it.
Yes, and we figured you wouldn't really care about
And then
that.
like
Yeah.
Cheryl, so Cheryl was separate. So we got so they actually got a 3-minute phone conversation.
Yeah.
So
Each of
like.
them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So like, well, not Renee and AJ together, but
Yeah.
like for like
But
the
our
Howie
AJ
one, we
one
only
was
got a
way
minute,
longer than-
like whatever.
than 3
He
minutes.
actually added time.
So that's nice, right?
So it was good. Like it was good times. What the heck are you doing? Is there a bird in the house?
No, there's no.
Can you,
bird in
like,
the
tell us
house.
what's happening?
There's nothing. Please keep talking.
Just
Making
Stop.
this panic face.
Oh
and
my
it's like,
god. Okay, I saw something that looked like it fell out of the tree onto your car. and
It's
I was
probably
like,
a squirrel.
What
'cause
the fuck
have
was
some,
that?
We have some asshole
And then
squirrels.
I saw it run back towards the tree, and I'm like, how is it doing this? That is all that
So it
happened.
actually is a squirrel.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyways,
So next time, don't look at the window so that she
it's
doesn't
hard
see
When
you.
because I'm
panic,
facing
it was like,
that
you're
direction.
doing this like,
This way.
and I'm like,
look at the
and I'm like,
camera.
my back is
Okay,
towards that direction.
no one
Is there a boogeyman behind
No
me?
one cares. No one
Okay,
cares.
okay.
what is happening?
Okay.
Anyways,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
I don't
so
know what we were talking
so anyways,
about.
so AJ's gonna come out with a single.
And we were very
in
supportive of
January.
him.
And also AJ is coming out, or depending on when this aired, already
It
came
might
out
already
with
come out.
a nail polish line with his bodyguard Josh,
Ava Dean?
and it's called Ava Dean.
Yes.
Ava being his daughter, the first daughter, and Dean being the middle name of his second daughter. So his second daughter is Lyric Dean. So it's Ava Dean. So I believe
Okay.
it's myavadean.com.
Oh, wow.
yes.
They did a preview of like there's definitely one red nail polish.
Ooh.
And then during our conversation at the very last, when we were about to run out of time, I was like, please tell me there's sparkly nail polish. And he said yes. So hopefully he was actually saying yes because there is sparkly nail polish, or not like, yes, you're crazy, we're out of
Yes.
time.
Hang on. If there are no further questions, yes.
I just literally saw a tweet before this that there's going to be like a top coat, and I think they said the amount of shades. I just saw
I
this.
thought it was like 5. Is what
4 amazing nail polish colors and 1 top base coat.
Okay.
Top
All right.
base coat.
you put it on as a base, and it's a top coat.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'd think that they'd mix it all in.
Very nice.
But okay.
But it has to add the shine.
Yeah.
Seal it in.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So it was nice to see Nick on there with them.
Yeah, so it was nice to see Nick. Yeah. It was nice to see. And then, just chatting with, like, when Cheryl, like, because it automatically came with Cheryl call, and I'm like, what the hell are we going to talk about 3 minutes with Cheryl?
I don't know.
So I was panicking, and I wrote a couple of questions down, and it was fine. It was, like, Dancing with the Stars related. In fact, she was more talking about us because we're like, we have a podcast.
The first thing we told her was that we have a podcast, and she was like, "Oh my god, blah blah blah!" Like,
yes. So we kind of chatted with it a bit. She's like, "You should get AJ on your podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, we should."
Yes, thank you.
Maybe like put in a good word for
I'm gonna say, can you ask him to be on?
right? I know.
Can you put in a good word?
Seriously.
So we had that, and then so then we had the AJ Renee one. Anything else interesting from?
Not that I remember. It was nice, but it wasn't.
And I was just like, okay, we can't just talk to AJ and ignore Renee because this is how I am. And I'm like, okay, so like, okay.
What's polite?
So then we're just like, and they talk about how they go golfing
talked
every
about
day.
golf a lot.
So,
That's surprising. I'm like, where did this
Icebreaker.
they
There's the
talk about it
icebreaker.
all the time, and I figured if I put them at ease and don't be all like, oh my god, AJ would love you.
Yeah.
Then they'll stay
But you're
longer.
never like that.
And technically,
No,
you were right. They added time, so it
What
worked.
can I say,
This is
guys?
true.
It's true.
Tips.
And then she was like, "Diane, what's your thing?" And they're like, "Yes, Diane, what's your question?"
then Diane was like,
"Oh my question!
That
Oh my god,
was so
what's my
funny.
question?"
So funny.
Because like my brain went because I didn't realize he added time, and I was just like, and in my head I was like, okay, we have like maybe 30 seconds left. And I was like, a minute 30. I was like, where the fuck did this minute come from? And I was just like, so I was like, Diane, please.
The panic on her face was amazing.
Diane, let me throw you under this bus.
Yes.
I
Oh,
came
what's my
back.
question?
It was
What's my
fine.
question?
I was like,
Oh yeah, you asked about the music.
I said, "Can you give us any spoilers about your
Yeah.
album?"
That was
And
good.
he didn't really. He just said like, "Oh, it's going to be really authentically me, and people are really gonna like."
Be
Not know what you're
surprised.
talking
about
about.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is an interesting comment to make, and we're just like, okay,
We're
Yeah.
curious. We're curious.
definitely curious to
curious
see.
about this.
Yes.
But we'll see how that goes in January.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
good luck with that.
Yes. Good luck.
Yay.
Listen, if
Very
it comes out soon, whenever it comes
we'll do an
out,
album review.
Yeah, for sure.
we will review that for sure.
I feel like he's on like a good trend of finishing.
Yes.
You know,
He's getting things done, right? Getting
Yeah.
things
Yes,
done.
the Osuna method. He's the closer. You got to close.
And also on that topic, Nick is also recording a new album. He was in the studio in the last couple weeks, so that should be released. He's saying before the end of the year.
And he's saying a single in December.
He's usually pretty good at like releasing things quickly.
Yeah, he does.
So,
So
obviously,
if
we'll
we're
do a
getting
review of
a
that as
single in December,
well. Pervert,
guys,
Diane is dying right now.
yeah.
So
yeah.
Sorry, my mind is in the gutter. He's usually really good at releasing things quickly. Anyway.
Well, it is what it is.
What are we talking about on this episode today?
Well, it might be because I just read this. So the other thing that just happened recently was that we suck at timing and remembering dates. But so it would have been nice for us to do something for this, but we missed it. So the Backstreet Boys recently celebrated the 20th anniversary of
yes.
Black and Blue.
yes.
Excellent album.
Because every time I breathe,
So if I knew, we could have reviewed that album for that, but I suck at remembering things. No,
Are
we're
we?
not.
Oh.
No, we're not. We're not. What I thought might be more fun to do is
A game?
No,
Black
Let
Blue,
her
we're
finish.
gonna
Come
punch each
on,
other.
let her finish.
is that recently our friend Sarah from Who the Backstreet sent us this article that I had never read before from Rolling Stone that the boys did. It's an interview with Rolling Stone
Why
that they
is this
did
funny?
literally 20 years ago, and it is such a funny interview.
Oh, wow.
This is from 20 years ago, though.
Okay.
Keep in
Literally
mind.
2000. This is
Okay.
when
They
this is.
talked about.
It has no. Don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling it. Can I just say something, please?
Is it a
Yeah.
spoiler?
No.
Okay, go.
They talked about this interview on Jay Leno when they were on 20 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that a spoiler?
It is
No.
not. Good job,
No.
Sophia.
Thank you so
Very
much.
proud.
I've also read this.
Anyways.
Did you read it 20 years ago?
Correct.
I never watched.
I definitely
They talk
never
about
did.
watching their Tamagotchis.
No, well, okay. I'm gonna read, and I just
It's your
thought it would.
It's on your brand.
I just thought it would be funny for us to
Mama
react to
Blue.
this.
I I'm ready.
20 years later.
Okay.
Because it literally has December 14th, 2000 on here.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's like actually.
It's literally 20 years ago.
Wow, we're old.
We sure are.
And so
They're old. They're much older than us.
Crow's feet.
And it just like react to this now, 20 years later, and like how just talk about how far they've come, I guess.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So if you want to look it up, it's called Backstreet Boys, The Boys in the Bubble.
Oh, they're in bubbles now.
And it's on rollingstone.com. Still there 20 years later.
Nice.
Good servers they have.
Yeah. They keep paying their bill.
And then you know how like sometimes articles have like a little preview of like what the article is going to be about before you like, jump into the main thing. It says the band confronts the real world where they're forced to deal with marriage, manic fans, and masturbation.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, I understand. They're definitely on brand. Okay.
So you're like,
Let's
wow,
do
okay, dive right in, everybody.
Balls deep, get in there. Wow, okay.
Oh, those Rolling Stone people needing to...
Yeah, they're inappropriate.
That's definitely a catchy headline over there, right?
Giddy up.
Yeehaw, right?
Lydia's like, yes, go on.
Go on, I'm listening.
So most of this is with AJ, and then they do talk to each of the guys a little bit at the end.
Okay.
So, AJ McLean, who is 1/5 of the Backstreet Boys teen pop supergroup, and the one with both the most tattoos and the most rakishly cut sideburns.
Rakishly.
Wow, what a word, rakishly.
Okay, that's random.
Is
Okay.
sitting inside his hotel room, recalling a warning recently passed on to him by management.
Lou.
No, this is 2000, so probably not Lou.
Oh, okay.
Probably Johnny, right?
Yeah. What management said is, watch out for this certain girl who is obsessed with you and will not be happy unless she pulls a Romeo and Juliet and kills you, then kills herself.
Okay, hold up. Why would security tell him that line?
I guess they want him to be careful.
Okay,
At a Rolling Stones interview?
No,
I assume they told him this before this.
Oh, random. Okay.
I don't know.
Weird.
I feel like bodyguards tend to kind of like not give the full extent of something. That seems very...
That seems like what you would do as a bodyguard. You're like, I'm not going to tell you everything because it's going to make you freak out. So I'm just going to tell you the little bit. And I would be like, this is what's happening. I'm going to fucking die. They got a knife. Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like you need to have all the information. But anyways.
Same. Okay.
Yes.
Kills you, then kills herself. And I'm like, Jesus, now I gotta go on stage after you tell me that? Just great.
Exactly. You don't ruin these things.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
He pauses, shuffles his hands through a pile of fast food containers in front of him, finds his cigarettes, and lights one up. Well, some things never change.
See?
You're allowed to smoke. Oh, yes, some hotels you're allowed to smoke in.
Yeah, I guess so.
And in the year 2000, probably they had smoking and non-smoking.
Yeah, I think you're right. They did, yeah.
Exhaling, he says, I'm singing pop music. I don't want to worry about some psycho girl. What do you do? Or what can you do? You can't do shit. You're stuck. So you live in a bubble.
Okay.
Hence the title of the article.
Okay. All right.
Full circle, if you will.
Today, the bubble has expanded to take over much of the 37th floor of the La Parker Meridian Hotel in Manhattan.
Is that the one they'd always use for the Rosie O'Donnell show?
I don't know.
I feel like our guests stay at the Parker Meridian. Like,
I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
Possibly.
Rosie O'Donnell has not been on for like 20 years, so maybe.
Not far from the sun-flooded greens of Central Park, inside it are the 5 boys. Besides AJ, there's Kevin Richardson, Howie Dorough, Brian Littrell, and Nick Carter. Plus, there are 5 bodyguards. 3 stylists, a hair groomer, a PR lady, a manager-type lady, a girlfriend, AJ's named Amanda. Yikes. And a few others. They've been in New York for a week so far. They don't go anywhere without their bodyguards. If they do, strange, disquieting things happen. Once, at a mall back in Orlando, where the group got its start, AJ followed a beautiful female fan to cozy up next to him for a photograph. Allowed, not followed, sorry. Allowed.
Oh my god.
I was like,
Follow.
Context,
pay
man.
attention to this, Lydia.
Yes.
Okay.
Suddenly, she started quaking, like she was having a grand mal seizure. When she calmed down, AJ said, "If you don't mind my asking, what the hell just happened to you?" The girl said, "I just had an orgasm."
Wow. Okay.
AJ said, well, okay now, and got the heck out of there.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you kind of have to both be on board for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not in the middle of a mall.
Yeah, ew.
It's
Yeah.
a little weird.
Yeah.
That's gross. Okay.
That was
Yeah,
a lot.
very gross.
Okay.
Yep.
So they spend most of their time looking at the world from the 37th floor, living out of suitcases surrounded...
Girl still like talks about the time she met AJ and had.
If you're the girl who had an orgasm after taking a photo with AJ at the mall in Orlando,
email us at boybandbreak@gmail.com.
So this was an attractive fan
Yes.
who managed to sneak a picture with him and orgasmed in her pants. You could have... If the long game, you could have orgasmed with AJ if you weren't fucking weird about it. Okay, continue.
yeah,
Idiots. Okay.
never going to come on the podcast now.
No, sorry, you're kind of stupid. Okay. It's like, what did you do? I just shit my pants. You want to go on a date? It's like, no! Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay, wow. Okay, anyways, continue.
Living out of suitcases surrounded by half-eaten McDonald's cheeseburgers and Big Bertha golf cups that don't get swung often enough.
Big Bertha
Golf club.
Oh, I heard cups.
I also heard cups.
It's like cups. What the fuck? Like a big cup? For these call
Big
Big
Bertha game where
Yes,
you
I
throw
do.
the balls
In her mouth and hated that.
Her stomach would get, and then you
Yes.
win all the tickets.
I love and hated that. I hated the concept because it was like you're feeding this obese woman, but also I love the tickets. So yeah, okay.
You
Continue.
get something in return.
You do.
Like candy.
Then we become Big Bertha.
Oh,
no! It's becoming
At least
meta.
we have the Tootsie Rolls.
Let's just continue.
Can
with
you
this.
please continue
This
this?
episode's getting weird, man. Okay, D, go ahead.
At the moment, they are awaiting the release of Black and Blue, their third record. In the balance hangs the future of boy bands everywhere. Should it flop, word will spread that such groups are on the way out. Should it sell, then long live not only the boys, but all the other teen acts currently trying to make it as well.
A lot of
already
pressure.
successful acts like 98 Degrees and NSYNC. Spelled NSYNC wrong, by the way.
Ooh,
For
they said
shame.
they're successful.
They did.
It was
98
successful.
degrees. Okay.
This was the year 2000.
Okay,
It was
okay.
basically their peak.
Una
All right.
noche.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Continue.
Of course, in some ways, the Backstreet Boys wouldn't mind if NSYNC dropped out of sight.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Wow.
The Boys were the first of the new crop of boy bands. Their first two US releases, Backstreet Boys and Millennium, huge multi-platinum hits, altogether selling some 60 million copies. Then earlier this year, along came NSYNC's No Strings Attached album, which sold
2.1 million copies.
2.41, you got it wrong, million
Ooh.
copies its first week out. Boo! Breaking the record held until then by the Boys. Now the Boys have a chance to win back the honor. Ooh. Ouch. Didn't
Not
happen.
the case.
And it looks like they might. Record
That's
stores
weird.
have pre-ordered 5 million copies of Black and Blue, and industry observers are making deeply positive predictions. So, I mean, I think it sold well, but not that
Not Millennium well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Thank you, Julia.
says Tom Calderone, an MTV senior vice president. The anticipation is there. Wow, what a fucking quote. Anyways, says Louise Varel, editor of teen fan mag Tiger Beat. We used to think boy bands had a 2-year life cycle, and I think the Backstreet Boys are going to keep going. Well, Louise, you were right.
Brief pause. So Black and Blue did sell over 5 million copies in its first week globally. In the US, they only sold 1.5 million.
That's a little low for the US. Come on.
But that's still good, considering
Yeah.
that was the most
In a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Over time, it has sold over 15 million copies.
Okay, so
worldwide.
that's good. That's better.
Anyways. And yet they worry. They worry that the album will fizzle and that the fan base has dried up or been swiped up by their competitors.
There's some good songs on this album.
Yes.
That when they go to MTV to drop off the video for the new album's first single, Shape of My Heart, only a few fans will show up to witness the well-publicized event. That probably didn't happen. We've been out of the mix for so long. Yeah, right. Says Nick Carter. Maybe it'll only be 15 people. It wasn't.
What a chump.
Frankly, that's one of the things about the Backstreet Boys. They can be pretty big worriers. About their legs being too skinny, about their stomachs getting too big, about being singled out by Kevin as the group's most enthusiastic masturbator. But that's the way it is. The Backstreet Boys bubble.
I'm sorry?
Enthusiastic masturbator.
Is there a depressed masturbator?
I think he means most frequent masturbator.
Okay. Kevin? Yeah, I mean, I saw Vampire Bird. Yeah.
No. Kevin is the one telling who's the biggest masturbator.
Oh, I thought Kevin was the masturbator. Okay.
No.
Okay, I was just like...
I feel like Kevin learned how to ask please give me a blowjob in many languages.
Yes,
so I feel
remember
like
this.
maybe he doesn't need to masturbate.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
And then he was with Kristen for a lot of that time too.
The whole time. He just broke up with her for small periods.
Yes.
Is Kristen his current wife?
Correct.
Yes.
He was with Kristen?
He was with Kristen before he even was in the Backstreet Boys.
She was a rocket.
That's right.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
She broke up with him for short periods of time.
Then he got blowjobs in Europe. And
Yeah,
then came
well,
back.
yeah. I would
He's
too.
like, okay, I had enough adventure.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
get settled down.
Oh, cute. Okay. Continue.
Adorable.
Nothing like a European blowjob. Wow, this episode. Okay, continue.
This is why they listen, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
this fun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyways, for the most part, of course, it has been beautiful, if not altogether easy, glissando of a rise to the top.
Glissando.
That's
I
what it
love that.
says.
That's a
Someone pick out their thesaurus. Like, let's pick a big word.
glissando. Wow.
Which I don't think is entirely accurate. They don't know about the warehouse with Lou.
Can you Google glissando?
Okay, they're stuck on glissando.
This is a beautiful word. I've never heard of glissando.
And especially in a sentence.
It is involved in music, and it is a continuous slide upward or downward between
God.
two notes.
Oh,
she was going there.
Like a crescendo?
A crescendo is like, ah! A glissando is like, okay, fair enough. Continue.
All right. The boys were living in Orlando in the early 1990s, all sons of middle class or lower, eager to make it as entertainers in one of the nearby theme parks or in any other similar theatrical enterprise. They meet middle-aged aviation tycoon and major league dreamer Louis Pearlman.
Oh, they didn't know the truth at this time?
How would they have known?
Okay, continue.
Well, it talks a little here.
Oh, okay.
Who thinks that with his backing, the lads can become the new kids on the block. I had tripped over that one for a second. The new kids on the block. Starting in 1993, he drops about $3 million on their careers.
Did he really?
So says he.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, okay.
Okay. In return, they give him their lives. They play shopping malls, SeaWorld, and high schools nationwide, not buttholes.
Why buttholes? What?
No, it does not say butthole.
That's what she said.
Oh my
I
god.
have no idea what you're
Yeah. Nobody gave their buttholes to Lou.
Well,
Not that we know
Not
of.
that band.
Oh!
Anyways,
Okay, continue.
they get a contract with Jive Records. They can't make any headway in grunge-loving America, so they go to Europe.
Yeah, I remember.
The youngest back then is Nick, 13. The oldest is Kevin, 20. They conquer some of Europe. Then they conquer more of Europe. They conquer Europe again. They are money-making gods in Europe.
Yes!
Eventually,
Money!
Euros!
yes.
This was back before Euros.
Well,
yes, each country
Lira?
had their own.
Lira!
Well, that's what it was in Italy.
British pounds!
Oh, okay.
Other things!
Other things! Okay, sorry. Continue?
Eventually, in mid-1997, they released Quit Playing Games With My Heart in the US. It's a smash. They take heat for probably being a little more than talentless, soulless lip syncers.
Oh.
They also wake up one day. This is what he's saying they take heat for. He's not saying it's true.
Oh, okay.
They also wake up one day and realize that for all their efforts and all their touring, they each have less than $100,000 in the bank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, Behind their backs, Perlman has formed another all-boy band, NSYNC. Feeling betrayed, Brian, a regular churchgoer who knows a thing or two about right and wrong, calls in lawyers.
See?
Yes,
Brian.
Suits are filed against Perlman and 2 other managers Perlman has hired. The Millennium album is being recorded. The boys are about to go on tour. The suit, rancor-filled and corrosive, threatens to screw this all up by bogging down the boys in legal ruckus. So they decide to settle.
Oh,
The settlement gives Perlman 1/6 of everything the boys make. The boys think this is grotesquely unfair. It's ridiculous, says Brian. He's doing no work.
yeah.
But the show must go on. And anyway...
That's what their deal was?
Yes.
That was a horrible deal.
Like, for the rest of their lives until Lou died?
Until the contract was up. With Jive, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
And anyway, the money galls them less than the presence of NSYNC as chart-busting rivals. It's not NSYNC itself, but where NSYNC comes from that digs me, and gets me still and to this day, says Kevin one afternoon.
Probably still to this day.
Probably.
Mr. Perlman was always speaking loyalty and preaching loyalty, saying, I love you guys, you're like my sons, and I lost my father to cancer. So I look at Lou as like a father figure, but I was naive and he's a liar. We'll always remember him for helping us get started, but we'll also remember him for screwing us blind and building another group behind our backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
Sad.
Yes.
Yep.
That's one reason
Thank you for the other group, Lou.
we appreciate it.
Yes.
Anyways, that's one reason why the title of the new album is Black and Blue. For the way Perlman bruised and hurt them.
Ouch.
That's also why in the official Backstreet Boys press kit bio, there is no mention of Perlman.
Oof. Dun, dun, dun.
It's as if he never did anything for the group. He's been expunged. We're on to bigger and better things, says Brian, and we're better men for it.
So NSYNC had No Strings Attached
Yes.
to cut off from Lou, and then Backstreet Boys had Black and Blue to cut off from Lou.
Yes.
But apparently Lou was still making 1/6 of this.
Yes.
So it wasn't really cut off.
Like maybe emotionally cut off.
Well, he just wasn't involved anymore. They were just paying. They basically gave him a payout.
Oh,
So they were like
annoying.
giving him money, but
So
as
it's like
Brian,
you want
as
to make
Kevin said,
money,
he
but
was
then
doing
you
nothing.
also don't want to, because then he gets more money. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Okay.
Inside the bubble, up on the 37th floor, in a room cluttered with the anonymous but functional belongings of the seasoned rootless traveler, and with the shades drawn on both the light and darkness of the outside world, AJ McLean, 22, is saying, Nick and Kevin probably have the quickest tempers, but I probably have the worst temper. I just go off.
I feel like that's all still pretty accurate.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend and our song came on the radio, I just grabbed a baseball bat and beat the crap out of the damn machine.
Okay then. Wow.
Yeah.
When I get now,
Change the channel.
now keep in mind AJ is like
Roid rage.
drinking and
Yeah,
like,
that's
getting
at this
into
time.
drugs at this time.
Okay,
So
okay, fair enough.
when I get stressed out, I get really violent towards myself and I just say, screw the group, to hell with everything. There have been times when I wake up like that and I think I don't want to do this anymore. But then I sit back and I think further and then I'm like, I do want it. I live for it. These guys are my best friends. They've been there for me and I've been there for them. Which is true.
Yep, very true, yep.
He lights a cigarette and shrugs. Anyways, he goes on, I've been in this business for 20 years. Which I don't think is accurate because they just said he's 22. So unless he's been working since
No,
He was a
has.
child,
Yeah, he's
guys.
a child.
since he was 2?
Maybe not 2.
I think it was like
Yeah,
5,
it was like auditioning and
6.
things.
But not at 2. You're
Not at 2.
No, not
like,
at 2. No.
No, maybe
definitely not.
yeah,
5 or
5
6, yeah.
Maybe he's just
He's
exaggerating.
exaggerating slightly.
Yes.
But
I've been in this business for 20 years.
Pass me my scotch.
I don't know anything else. I don't want to know anything else. I live, eat, sleep, breathe, shit, whatever this business. This is my life.
Shit in business.
Wow. Okay then.
Love that AJ.
Here's your new album.
Pass me the cigarette.
Wow. Okay,
Sorry,
continue.
Continue.
Yes, please.
Part of his life today also revolves around his girlfriend, Amanda, who used to be part of the girl group Innocence.
Oh, wait.
Yes, I do.
Pause.
Yep.
So this is the broad that dated multiple boy band members?
Yes.
This is the one that
So she
Nick
dated
did?
Chris. She dated Jeff Timmons. She dated
AJ, obviously.
AJ?
Rich Cronin.
Oh, I don't know.
Possibly.
Is this also the Rich Cronin one?
Maybe.
What is this woman? What's her name again?
Amanda?
Is that the one that
Amanda
Nick,
what?
Nick did
It doesn't
some...
have a last name. I don't think Nick dated
Okay.
her.
I don't remember her last name.
No, I feel like this is from Innocence.
In no sense.
Innocence?
But they spelled it in a
Innocence,
weird...
but I
Yes, INNOS.
Brumfield? No, that's somebody who
Was it
is
Fergie
pleading
then?
innocence.
No.
Okay.
No, not that innocence. Anyways, maybe continue while she's
Yes,
researching.
yes.
Okay. Who used to be part of the girl and is sleeping in the next room. Sheets tucked up around her neck.
What?
Because she's probably naked.
naked?
She's probably naked.
Oh, okay. All right, fair.
They've been together for 2.5 years. She's truly gorgeous. In AJ's opinion, she looks like him with tits.
What?
Latona.
What?
Yes, I knew it was like something Latone or
Him
whatever.
with tits.
That's his
All right,
AJ's
let us
opinion.
confirm if it's her with him with tits.
Oh, she got a goatee. Oh my god.
Well, there's this picture that's kind of blurry.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't really say. Don't see the tits. Oh, here we go.
You don't see her tits.
Are you zooming
Ouch.
out?
I don't understand how they look at all alike.
He's
I
a
don't
bit
know.
nuts.
They both have faces.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, we've been
Continue.
here for a while.
Or
We just changed
exactly
it.
like Elizabeth Hurley. Which means, of course,
Oh,
that
maybe this one. That's kind of Elizabeth Hurley like.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, continue, D.
which means that AJ himself must look exactly like Elizabeth Hurley, but without tits.
Oh my god.
I love the shade.
What? Wow.
So
And the
true.
next sentence is, to a blind man, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. Agreed.
So essentially, AJ just would like to fuck himself, but with tits.
Seems like it, yeah.
With tits.
Okay.
All right.
Continue.
Cool. Got it.
Actually, he's kind of rougher and tougher looking than Elizabeth Hurley, though his legs are skinnier, much to his dismay. He's got a gravelly smoker's voice.
Skinny
I'm good.
legs.
I don't need to see any more pictures of this woman. Thank you.
I'll show you AJ's skinny legs.
He favors black
He's always had
watch.
skinny legs.
He favors black watch caps pulled down snugly over his wiry red tinted hair. Likes to cuss and doesn't want his fans to think that just because he smokes, it's cool to smoke.
So yeah, don't smoke, kids.
Do as I say, not as I do.
He plans to quit before the next Backstreet Boys tour begins next year.
That was not how. That was
20 years
not-
later, he's still smoking.
Yeah.
Vape though now.
He was vaping for a while, but I think
he went back.
Stop.
to
Yeah, I think he went
Yeah.
back.
realized that for a while they were like, vaping's better for you than cigarettes. Then they realized, it's actually worse.
Popcorn lung.
Popcorn lung, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I think everyone's back to cigarettes.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay.
Anyways, he's also friendly and forthright, which is true. Mm-hmm. You want to know how old he was when he lost his virginity?
What? No, what? Okay, yeah, I do now.
This is an article
Prior to 22.
talking about
Okay.
masturbation as well.
He was 16. Anything you want to talk about, he's willing to talk about too.
Okay, thanks, AJ.
AJ, please come on to our podcast. We would love to
Yeah,
have you.
right? Seriously.
Sure, there's temptation on the road, he says. I'm gonna look, but you don't want to grab because it's gonna be on your conscience for the rest of your life.
Don't tell him about the Me Too movement.
Don't tell him about what he's about to do with a whole bunch of other people.
Anyways, Amanda and our relationship, especially physically, is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we're not physical in a sexual way every day and every night.
Okay.
Kissing to me is more sensual and more sexual and more intimate than bada bing bada boom. I'm done. And then he uses a word that is no longer in good taste, and he says, that's just retarded.
Ooh. It was 20 years ago.
But it was 20 years ago, and people said that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Twas the style at
It
the time.
was, yes.
Okay.
It's really, really terrible how this world revolves around sex, he continues. I don't profess to be a pastor. I go to strip clubs every so often.
Every so often. Okay.
I'm a guy. I do normal guy shit. But people aren't focusing on bigger, better issues such as love. which is the kissing and holding hands and the walking with hands together and the arms around each other. More romantic things.
Do we feel that Amanda was listening for this part of the conversation?
Maybe.
That's why he's gone a little...
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Things that seem to be at the heart of all their records. He smiles broadly. Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The product of a broken home, AJ moved with his mom from Kissimmee, Florida.
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
Okay, sorry, Kissimmee.
Kazoo. Oh boy.
To Orlando when he was in 7th grade to further his already
Not
strong
that far away from each other.
interest in performing. Pretty soon, he was cast in a Nickelodeon show, which led to roles in numerous musicals and plays, and eventually, when he was 15, to the Backstreet Boys. She's gonna look up now how far it is from Orlando.
Oh my god, are you joking?
No, that's how she does.
Oh my god.
This is
Diane,
how she
please
is.
continue.
Those years.
39 minutes or 18 miles.
It's
Okay.
still a move.
All right.
He probably had to switch schools.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So,
And that's not a fun commute. I've done that. It sucks.
Kissimmee to Orlando.
Like, from here to Burlington.
Okay, gotcha.
I hated it. So I'm sure AJ's mom probably hated it too. She's like, fuck
Well, she was a single mom,
this
yeah.
shit.
We're
Gas
just
is
gonna
expensive.
move to Orlando.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smart
right?
lady.
Well, Orlando's more hip and happening. You got the theme parks.
Got the oranges.
Got the oranges. That's the real reason.
Honey
That's
Bell.
the real reason
The
people
honey
go there.
bell. Honey bell. Honey
The
bell.
oranges.
Anyways,
Okay.
all right.
The honey bell.
Those years, especially in Europe, were difficult. He was lonely. He missed his mom. At times, he got pretty depressed.
Oh no.
The mini bar at the hotel was paid for by the record company, and after the show, I would sit up there in my room, he recalls. I wouldn't go down to the bar. There were too many fans downstairs. Also,
And
you
you
were
were
fucking
underage?
underage. But
Yes.
anyways,
Well, I guess Europe has
In Europe?
underage is...
yes. I don't actually think they give a shit. Like, once you're,
Yeah,
like, a teenager, they're like,
16-ish.
whatever, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I would just sit there and watch a movie and drink a shot of Jack or a beer or whatever. Since then, he's figured out what he needs to do to keep himself happy.
Sorry, I'm just trying to envision 2000s movies. Just drinking Clueless.
Yeah, I know.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, exactly. Legally Blonde. That was why.
He needs to stay busy. After the end of his the last tour, and on behalf of VH1's Save the Music charity, he went on the road solo and called himself Johnny No Name.
Yes.
Yes.
Was this not like he had to do this for some reason? Wasn't this like a court-ordered thing, or am I just crazy?
What?
I don't
What?
think so.
No.
What? From doing what?
I don't... Okay.
You
fair-
must perform in a fur coat.
Okay, well, then
Under an
apparently,
alias.
Apparently, I've turned into Lydia and I've come up with like fake things. Sorry, I apologize for that. Continue on.
Are you going to research it maybe?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, I mean, your phone's right
Because the
there.
three of you giving me a face like, what the fuck are you talking about? Means that clearly I imagined this.
Okay.
All right. And had a ball belting out tunes by Stone Temple Pilots and Rage Against the Machine, punctuating his set with the kind of pelvic thrusts and old-fashioned floor humping that would make the typical Backstreet Boys fan
floor
blush.
humping.
Wow. I don't remember any floor humping.
Did you go to these shows?
No.
Well, then why would you have remembered that?
No, I thought they said that.
Oh, you mean a good old-fashioned...
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Well...
Good old-fashioned floor humping.
If that was at the 90 Degrees concert, that would have been nice.
Don't
but okay.
you recall that on Little House of the Prairie?
Oh my god.
They hitched up their wagon and then did some floor humping.
Oh my god. Diane, please continue.
Turned some butter as they were...
Wow. This is why we don't record 3 episodes in a day.
Okay.
Wow.
It's only like 4 o'clock.
Anyways,
I know.
it's 5, but anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He also bought himself a 10,000 square foot house near Orlando where he can race around in one of his 2 Sea-Doo jet skis. The
Not
fast-
inside the house.
I'm like, that's gonna be hard. But okay. Wow. Okay.
The fastest money can buy.
Wow.
He's got Vegas and Jack Daniels, a couple of 4-pound Yorkies to cuddle when he's not cuddling Amanda.
We got some dogs.
Whatever happened to this Amanda girl? Anyways. No, don't. Why are you asking?
Yeah, do it, Jinsey. That's fine. It's fine. She's probably at Club Med.
It's Charles Edwards. Anyways, he picked up a fancy CL600 Mercedes with a fat V12 engine and tinted windows that just happened to be illegal in Florida.
Oh.
Sure, the windows are illegal, AJ explains breezily, but if I get stopped, I say, look, this is who I am. If you still want to give me a ticket, that's fine, but I'm doing this for my own protection. It's a pretty dangerous business I'm in when you think about it. But even with all this stuff to occupy his mind, he still loses it sometimes.
Chinzia, would you like to share with the class?
According to Google, Amanda Latona's job is Steve Kulkul's wife.
Oh, okay.
Who is that?
I have no idea, but they got married in 2015. She's 41 years old. And Amanda is known for her amazing glutes and has been named the booty queen of the fitness industry.
Oh, so she's a fitness model.
So she is a fitness model.
Yes.
Yes. So there you go.
All right, Diane, please continue.
What is that?
Yeah, what is this?
Fitness.
Okay, no one cares. Anyways, this happened a month ago while he was sitting in a car outside an Orlando pool hall. He just started crying and he couldn't stop. I just started freaking out and thinking about my relationship with Amanda. And is that going to last when I go on the road? And is my mom going to be okay? And all this other stuff. I mean, issues engulfed me. And I sat there for about 30 minutes and cried and yelled and swore at the world. And then I felt better.
Oh, poor guy.
Okay.
Slurping on a soda, he says, Amanda is a big help. She can actually speak in tongues. I call
Like licking things or the religious speaking in tongues?
Hey, it says she can actually speak in tongues. I caught her doing it once. It's fascinating. We're all strong believers in God, but she's helped me get closer to him. When I'm pulling my hair out, she'll say, sweetheart.
Can I just take a quick pause here?
Oh my god!
What is this article?
My mom was like, you need, because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And she's like, come see Joyce Myers, who's one of those fucking religious people in St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm like, okay. So we're there and whatever, all these people are talking. And then she gets to this thing and she's like, you know, I can't do her accent, but she was all like, sometimes, like, I feel like today we're going to speak in tongues. Now, normally I explain what that means, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then this whole arena, everyone's like, what the fuck? And this lady's like, yes, Jesus! Yes, Jesus! And I was like, what? And I just looked at my mom, and my mom's like, praying or something. I was just like, I'm just gonna go up. And everyone's like, and I get up to the stairs, and I call my friend Paul in Calgary, and I'm like, what? He's like, are you okay? I'm like, can you hear what's happening? He's like, no. So I bring him to the door, and he's like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, they're all speaking in tongues, and magically they've all been overcome by the Spirit, and they can... It was fucking crazy. So after this ridiculousness, I go to my mom, I go, what the fuck was that? And she's like, they didn't do this last year. I was like, oh shit, everyone's nuts here. Let's get out. So anyways, so the fact that she can speak in tongues does not have me any, like, oh yeah. One of the most traumatic experiences of my life. And I was just like, am I on candid camera right now?
That was
Are these thousands of people all insane and just so I could be like, haha, Chinzia, you're an idiot. We don't actually talk like this. But no, it went on for like half an hour. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Wow.
The end. Go back to the article.
My stomach hurts. Okay.
Oh my god!
Anyways,
I'm crying.
she'll say, sweetheart, let's sit down and pray and everything will be fine. So there's AJ. Clearly he's got some things going on.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
He seems okay, though.
Does he?
Who is this reporter? Worst interview ever.
He seems okay, I guess.
Really, he does. Except that he soon throws all judgments into doubt by confessing that he's a huge fan of the Golden Girls TV show.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yes.
Who isn't?
Right? Come on.
Featuring the often randy hijinks of those withered old bats.
Wow, rude.
Usually just Blanche, but yeah, okay. All right.
Anyways, and then we come to know that AJ later becomes obsessed with Friends.
Yes.
So there you go. He just likes sitcoms, guys. It's his escape.
It's just him in that minibar and whatever's on TV.
Imagine he's drunk watching Golden Girls by himself. Oh my god. Anyways.
He's like, thank you for being a friend. Oh. Ow, ow, ow.
All right, continue on.
Sorry, that's funny but not funny.
I know, right? It's like, ooh. Eating cheesecake. Oh god. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
If any Backstreet Boy has derived strength from God these days, however, it's Brian Littrell.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
25
Years old.
years
Thank you.
old.
Obviously, 25 minutes.
You were just like 25.
I know what that means. Anyways, go ahead.
With his choir boy face and crinkly smiling eyes, the boy just oozes probity and moral strength, not mortal strength.
Probity.
I don't know.
Look up the word probity.
This is very high level interview here. We got Gashendo, we got
Glissando.
Glissandos,
What am I spelling?
Probity.
Probity meaning. It's a formal word,
Oh.
and it is the quality of having strong moral principles, honesty, and decency.
Yeah, it sounds like something.
Okay, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
And it's true. For instance, let's say you wanted him to pose for a photograph with the rest of the boys, surrounded by nearly naked women. He wouldn't do it. Even if it would be a tasteful photograph. Wouldn't do it, even if the rest of the boys begged him. I know the body is a work of art, he says, but I'd rather not open myself up to criticism. I understand we're a group and we normally
He's straight from there. But okay. No comments, but okay.
But I'd rather not open myself up to criticism. I understand we're a group and we normally stand together, but there are going to be cases where I just can't disrespect myself and stoop to that level.
So this is the part that he talked about on Jay Leno.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing it back. Sophia.
You're welcome.
And in a sense, then, Brian is the prig of the band.
The prig?
What does that mean?
I'm sure it just means something like the
It's not a pig, it's a pig.
prude.
It probably
means prude, but let me look it up.
Come on. That's true.
Self-righteously moralistic person who behaves as if superior to others.
Yeah, he's a prig.
Oh, God.
All right.
It's like a prick and a prude together is a
He's a
prig.
prig.
Anyways,
All right, adding it to the vocabulary.
the guy who doesn't go clubbing and who explains, I'd rather
That's
be
still true.
Clubbing with Jesus.
Baby seals.
I'd rather be watching ESPN in my hotel room. And I was that way even before I got married.
Sorry.
Oh well, what can you do? But the good thing is, he's not smug about his goodness, nor does he give the other guys grief about their relative badness. It's just the way he was brought up.
I don't know. I
don't think he does.
don't think he does.
Okay.
But that's just me.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, continue.
From the time he could walk, like, he just doesn't do it. He doesn't scold the other guys for
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
true.
All
That's
right,
valid.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the time he could walk, he attended a Baptist church back in Lexington, Kentucky,
Yep.
where he sang in the choir. Actually, in those days, he had a lot to thank God for. When he was 5, he developed a staph infection from which doctors said he wouldn't recover.
Ew.
Then a bacterial infection. If he survived that, doctors said, it would be as a vegetable. He beat both illnesses, as well as open heart surgery in 1998.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That took care of a cardiac defect. And so often he says, quite rightly, I tell ya, I'm a walking miracle.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today, though, on the 37th floor, what floor are they on, guys? I don't
37th.
think they
I'm not
mentioned it.
sure. I have.
Bubble.
Le Parker Meridian.
He's ghostly pale and suffering from an early fall cold.
Didn't he catch COVID? No,
No,
the swine flu.
Swine flu.
No,
That was
swine flu.
much later.
Yes. Oh,
Probably
wow.
like 10 years later, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
2010?
That was crazy.
Something like that.
He's sniffling and his smooth southern twang is somewhat muffled by nasal cross currents. Nonetheless,
Okay.
He's a very descriptive person.
This is a weird journalist, but okay.
he seems to enjoy recounting again the now nearly mythic moment on April 19th, 1993, 2 weeks shy of the end of his junior year in high school, when he was pulled out of history class to take a call from his cousin in Orlando. Kevin said, "Why don't you come and, sing with these guys down here? I'm in this group and, we're going to make records and be famous." And Brian said, "Okay." Thus were his plans to attend Cincinnati Bible College, scotched, and it says scotched, but I believe they probably mean scratched, and an entirely different future assured.
Yeah. Legit.
History, as they say.
He shakes his head and still seemingly somewhat amazed by the serendipity of it all. That's a lot of S words. And goes on to give a rather dreamy, sweet declaration of just what it is he likes best about being a Backstreet Boy. We're blessing people's lives with Sorry, we didn't intend on doing that, but it happened.
And the money.
I think it just comes with the quality music and the quality show. Because of his brushes with death, he says he tries not to get wound up about anything anymore. It's better to take it easy. He's got a wife to think of, actress Leanne Wallace, whom he married last September.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
she acted
yeah.
in a couple of things.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So even if the new album stiffs, well, he can handle that too. I went from singing in front of 20 people in a church to singing before 70,000 people at the Georgia Dome. If that's as big as it gets, then that's it. Then I've touched people's lives, and maybe it makes a difference. And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good way to think of it.
If there's anything wrong with this fellow, let me learn to speak. Isn't there anything wrong with this fellow? Doesn't he have any bad habits besides taking 4 sugars with his coffee and biting his fingernails?
Ew.
Which doctors have told him he must stop lest new germs find their way into his body.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Doesn't he harbor some secret life in the bubble anger like AJ, the stereo system killer? He thinks about that for a moment. He can't come up with anything. He doesn't even swear a lot. Pretty much confining himself to words that appear in the Bible. I say damn and hell. And is shit in the Bible? I don't know if shit's in the Bible.
Pretty sure shit is not in the Bible.
No, he says at last. So it's just damn, hell, and ass. A while later, though, after Brian joins the rest of the guys for lunch, another possible truth emerges. They're talking about a subject near and dear to many young men, farts.
Okay.
Nick's favorite.
This was printed in the Rolling Stones.
Correctamundo.
Okay.
Well, I feel like they're more rockers that read that magazine, so I'm sure they're into farts.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, continue.
Kevin has singled out Nick as the group's most frequent farter.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like all human beings, says Kevin, we're pretty nasty sometimes, but Nick's consistently funky. Nick's eyes bulge. Oh, come on, he shouts. You even pull your cheeks apart, says Ryan.
Oh, God. Ew. Wow.
You lean over to do it, man.
Oh my
One time
God.
in Europe, we were on stage, and Nick let one go, and it was like a green film. I was singing, I'll never break your...
Okay, but that's funny, though.
That's a
That's
good one.
funny,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
Hey man, we all fart, chimes in Howie merrily. We're men. We do it loud and proud.
Fart was recorded into a song.
Yeah.
Yes.
The call.
The call.
Was that already released at this time?
No, that's on Black and Blue.
Oh, see, there you go. Howie's topical.
See, that's why he's supportive of farting.
Yeah.
All right.
But Nick does it especially when we're eating, complains Brian.
Ew.
Okay, that's gross.
Yeah, that's good.
Splat! I'm like, doggone, can't you wait till we're done? Kevin always blames me, moans Nick. I'm relaxing, everything's nice and calm on the waterfront. And Kevin's like, Nick, did you fart? And Brian's always like, dude, you shit? And I'm like...
I thought shit wasn't in the Bible.
Apparently.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, man, why do always have to be the one that farted. All right, says Kevin, taking charge.
Whoever smelt it, dealt it. Whoever denied it, supplied it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, says Kevin, taking charge. Enough about farting. But it's too late. Cat's out of the bag. It seems that shit is in the Bible after all. Who knows?
Ah, there you go.
Who knew, actually, is what they say.
I'm not going to know what.
Kevin Richardson, 28, is brooding about Lou Pearlman again.
Yeah,
and about the recent Pearlman-produced TV series, Making the Band.
Motown.
Yes.
About the creation of a boy band in which Pearlman presents himself as quite the musical genius. When I saw that, says Kevin, I about puked. I mean, the average person sitting there watching that show is probably like, so this is how the Backstreet Boys came to be? No, it's not. All he did... Sorry, guys. I'm good.
It's right there.
All he did was give us money to go into the studio
That's it. Oh.
and work on our craft, which we are thankful for. But he's making himself to be the guy twisting the knobs, and it's just not so. His leg is in a brace because he recently crashed his dirt bike and had to undergo knee surgery. He shakes...
Kevin, not Lou.
Lou.
Yes.
No, Lou.
No, Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin.
damn. Okay, that's nice.
He shakes his head, disgusted, and hobbles over to a table to pour himself some juice. Returning, he swings the leg onto the couch and begins talking about what it was like growing up in the wilds of the Daniel Boone National Forest in eastern Kentucky, on the grounds of a summer camp that his dad ran. It took him 45 minutes to get to town, so he spent much of his time either tinkering with radios or helping his father around the camp. He had plans to become a jet fighter pilot after high school, but at his parents' suggestion, ended up moving to Orlando. Then, in 1991, his mom called to tell him that his father had cancer.
Oof.
Honey, you may want to come home, she said. Recalling this, Kevin takes a deep breath and starts to cry softly, his head bent. When he finally looks up, his eyes are wet and red. It's okay, he says. I don't mind talking about my dad.
A lot of editing could have happened in this article, but okay.
Yes.
Well, imagine what did not make the floor.
Good
That's
point.
true.
I really got to speed this up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No offense.
After his father's death, he stayed in Kentucky for a year, then returned to Orlando where he met Pearlman. He called him Big Papa back then. He calls him Mr. Pearlman today, and started hanging out at Pearlman's house while they all went about getting the group off the ground. In those days, of course, Kevin had wanted to get married. Mr. Pearlman would have had a cow, just as he had a cow when he learned that Kevin had gotten his belly button pierced.
What is he, a teenage girl?
Apparently. In the post-Pearlman world, however, Kevin can do what he pleases. And 6 months ago, it pleased him to get married to his girlfriend of 8 years, Kristen Widless. They've since moved to Los Angeles, where Kristen is an actress, and where one day Kevin may try his hand at directing, unless they decide to have kids, in which case they'll probably move back to Kentucky.
Nope, they will stay in LA. That's where they are.
Yes.
They go to Kentucky sometimes, but
True.
in many ways, Kevin has grown up to be the most grounded of the boys, but it took him a while to get there. In this business, it's so fast and there's so many parties. After a show, you're wound up. You can either go to your room and flip channels or go to a club and chase women and get laid. I've been with Kristen for years now, but we went through a period where we'd get in fights and we'd call it quits for a while. And then I did the party scene. It was great for a little while, but then it was empty and lonely.
Oh.
Frowning, he says, you're going to think this sounds stupid, but I would feel bad if I had a one-night stand. I would feel guilty. Some women, it's no big deal. Hey, let's go. But with others, I could see it in their eyes. When I look into their eyes, that they were, I don't know. It's different for women giving themselves, so I was feeling guilty. He laughs. Hey, I have some morals. What can I say?
Okay.
He also had to answer to older brother Tim, who was a minister at the church in the Church of Christ.
Oh boy.
Sometimes on the phone, Tim will ask Kevin, what does it gain a man to get the adoration of the whole world, but to lose his soul?
Dun, dun, dun.
Not much, Kevin says. Then Tim will want to know, are there any pelvic thrusts in your choreography for this tour?
Okay,
Oh my God, Tim.
That's a bit of a jump.
Chill,
here.
Tim.
It's humping the air, not 50 people. Okay.
Dance is sexual sometimes, Kevin tells him, and then Tim will ask Kevin to report on the condition of his soul. And what Kevin says is, I feel that it is in good shape.
Oh, good.
I've literally never heard of this man before.
Same.
Who, Tim?
Yeah.
Well, now you have.
Okay.
Like Brian, he grew up in a Baptist church, so he started off with strong religious feelings. Then in high school, he joined a Pentecostal church where members spoke in tongues.
Oh, God, again!
Everybody's fucking speaking in tongues.
Jesus.
It's a trend.
Okay.
This was a confusing time.
Yes.
He wanted to speak in tongues too. He had to go to the altar, get hands laid on him, but the babble never arrived.
Oh.
Because it's fake. Continue on.
He began to think others were faking it to prove how holy they were.
Yep.
He left that church, but he has been looking for answers ever since. Most recently in a book about the teachings of the Dalai Lama. It's about dealing with his views on maintaining a general state of happiness, he says. It examines Western and Eastern philosophies on things like depressions and staying happy. He smiles gently. He adds, not that I'm depressed or anything. Kevin may be a little more meditative than the rest of the boys, but he's the oldest. And sometimes it's been up to him to keep the others in line, especially Nick, who can get petulant and surly.
Oh, I know what those words mean.
Yes.
All of the guys have had a hand in helping the youngest Backstreet Boy get through his juvenile years, but none more than Kevin, and it has not always been easy. You name it, we've gotten into a fight over it, he says. Yep. I'll try to give him advice, but I'm kind of blunt. It pisses him off and he gets mad. He's hit me in the face, right here in the cheekbone. He's hit AJ too. He's a good guy, but he went through his swinging stage.
Ouch.
Just then, Kevin pauses.
Biting stage? Like you make sound like a toddler. Okay.
Just then, Kevin pauses, perhaps thinking back over the entire long, improbable swerve and tilt of events. You know, a lot of people thought we'd be gone by now. How long can it go? I don't know.
At least 27 years.
But it really is an extraordinary situation we're in. Just how extraordinary it is once again becomes clear when the boys hop into limos and head to MTV to drop off the Shape of My Heart video. I swear this is almost over.
Like on a VHS tape?
There aren't 15 girls waiting there, but around 5,000, all whipped up and hissing things like, we're not friends when it comes to the Backstreet Boys, and God forbid one of these girls gets in my way. I'd kill to get a picture.
Whoa, okay. And that was probably on like those like disposable cameras back then.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Up in the MTV building, the boys hang out, nosh from a spread, and deliver the new video to Carson Daly on Total Request Live.
Yeah.
At one point, Kevin sees David Boreanaz. Yes. Star of the TV show Angel.
Is he the one who went on to be on Bones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin reminds Boreanaz that they appeared on Saturday Night Live together and says, hey man, I enjoy your work. Boreanaz
says, I don't know who the fuck you are.
No.
He says, hey man, good to see you. And that's all he says.
So bizarre.
A bit later, the boys pile back into their limos and flee the Times Square area. The place is positively argle-bargle with frantic
Argle-bargle!
Should just like looking
freaking out to Backstreet Boy loving teenage
Is
girls.
he making up words now?
No, we have to keep going.
Okay.
We're at an hour 15.
Livin' La Vida Loca, says Howie Duro, 27, hunkering down in his limo. The girls are banging on his window with their fists and elbows. They want to get inside, and they want him now. Go, 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 Howie's bodyguard shouts to the limo driver, and off they speed, finally shedding a couple of more wild-eyed, tenacious fans.
Argle-bargle, go ahead.
Copious, but meaningless talk or writing nonsense.
It's like this whole article is argle-bargle.
It is. Argle-bargle. Okay, continue on.
Okay.
You're almost there. Oh no!
Hang on. That's fine.
Oh, she was scrolling and lost her spot.
I just wanted to see how much was left.
It's almost done.
Okay.
Gee, I hope no one gets hurt, Howie says, which only makes sense for him to say.
Gee, I hope
Because
no one
both
gets hurt.
inside the group and out, he's known as Sweet D.
Yeah.
The nicest guy, the peacemaker, the soft one who is the most easily hurt, and on whom Nick most likes to pick.
Oh,
Which
Nick!
is true.
I gotta say how he's pretty straight up good guy.
He's got the mellowest eyes and the easiest smile. He's also one of the single available Backstreet Boys.
Was this around the time of his Jesus hair, or did he find
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's your problem there, Howie.
Though he's not looking. This year I've decided that a relationship is not right for me. I've seen
I don't
some
want
of...
to know your name. I just want to bang, bang, bang.
Oh boy.
Oh God, I've seen some of the other guys. They work so hard with their girlfriends. They gotta call them on the phone. Okay, I'm here in the hotel room. No, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm like, I'm young. I have the chance of a lifetime here. I don't want to look back and think I never really enjoyed it because I had a girlfriend and felt trapped.
Well,
Yeah, fair enough.
this is honest.
So he's freewheeling these days and always up for an after-show bash or going to an award show. Spoiler alert, he's married and still doing that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Back in Orlando, he's even bought himself his own club called Taboo, with a VIP area in it so he can go there anytime he wants and mingle with the crowd.
Can you imagine that? You're not letting me in. I'm going to buy this club and I can come whenever I want.
Commission here, big mistake.
Huge. Yeah.
So he started buying stuff back then. That's cool.
Good for him. Good
job,
property.
Howie.
He's involved in lots of other business stuff too, real estate ventures mostly, as well as a company that plans to sell CDs out of vending machines in movie theaters.
Netflix?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And also put on numerous concerts to benefit the Caroline DeRoe Cochrane Lupus Foundation, named for his sister, who died of the disease in 1998.
I went to a few of those events.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because of all of these involvements, he's never seen a single episode of Friends or Seinfeld.
Poor man.
Here we go. Not long ago, he went to a hockey game, found his way into...
He loves this guy. I've literally heard this story from him 2 or 3 times.
Yes, I think we've all heard the story, but go ahead.
Found his way into a dressing room, walked out with the hockey player's stick with the guy's autograph, and hadn't hit the exit before the other players were whispering, "Dude, I'll give you $100 for that stick," which got him thinking that maybe this Wayne Gretzky guy was someone he ought to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But that's the way it goes when you live in the bubble. Howie's perfectly happy there. It seems his biggest worry is that his tummy is a little doughy. Even so, it had taken him a while to get used to his particular role in the group. Back at the hotel, up on the 37th floor.
Perfect meridian.
He's sitting in the bathroom while a groomer works on his hair.
A groomer?
Yes.
Is it done?
Did you see the Jesus hair? Maybe he needed a groomer.
Oh my
For the
god.
past several weeks, he's been wearing his black hair ironed flat, with lighter colored extensions pinned in.
Oh, wow.
Though in a day or two, he will return to his natural curly look. As the group's optimist, he says, "We haven't reached our total height yet. We've still got a lot more to accomplish." Then he says, "There's been times where I've gotten upset because I don't feel like I'm being utilized much.
That's true.
Like they wouldn't use me to sing much, lead-wise. I'd get really hurt. But I realize I need to take a step back. This is a team, and I'm a team player. If I'm not there, it's not the Backstreet Boys. We're a 5-part harmony, not 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for that
Except for
7-year
the-
period of time when
Kevin left the group, but
But
okay.
Howie was still there, so they were still back.
Exactly. And as a team player, far be it for Howie to reveal the name of the group's most frequent masturbator.
Why is this an ongoing issue?
He'll laugh and giggle about it, but his lips are most definitely sealed. "Okay, I rub one out every once in a while," Kevin draws.
Rub one out, girl, don't ask why.
But if one of us is a chronic masturbator, it's Nick.
Yeah.
That's not shocking at all.
Yeah.
Things are coming out both ends.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's definitely not a
Wow.
shocker.
All of the
How old is Nick in this article?
or they're about to say
Oh god. Okay, go ahead.
he's 20.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good.
What did you think?
I thought it was going to be like, this 13-year-old murder masturbator.
He's 20.
Okay,
But he's
good.
also the youngest, which makes sense at this point that
Yeah.
a 20-year-old would be masturbating a
yeah.
lot more than people in
Yeah,
their-
I guess.
Anyways,
True.
all the boys are in the hotel, and with Nick thus singled out, all hell breaks loose. When the riot's over, Nick rolls his eyes and says, "Why does it have to be me? You know you all do it just as much as me." Well, says Kevin, I'll put the pay-per-view on every now and then and check it out.
Wow.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Wow.
Some record label also paid for it.
Suddenly, one of the other boys starts singing a song from the disco era. We're coming out.
Oh, God.
Sounds like something Howie would do.
Yeah.
And then Nick says, why does it have to be me? Kevin shrugs as if to say that's just the truth of the matter. Just as it's the truth that 20-year-old Nick is the farter king, not to mention the sloppiest of the boys, and the one with the smelliest feet, and the one who, when he gets upset, is the most likely to start throwing his fists around, though not so much recently. Says AJ, none of us will ever understand what goes through that boy's head sometimes.
This makes him sound like he's like insane.
In this boy's defense, he was 13 when he was ripped from his family and put in with these bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
It's like they stole him in the night.
I know.
Like, hey, little boy, come into
Want to be famous?
Hey, famous, hop into this white van.
Papa Lou will take care of you. Lord. Okay. Wow.
He was 12 years old when this group started. He went to school in a hotel room. He never experienced homecoming, prom, football games, being on the football team. You know,
proper grammar.
Your first kiss, hanging out with your boys, pulling the bra straps from girls, whatever. The things that every kid goes through, he never went through. He never had a normal life. None of us did, but especially him.
Oh, somebody's actually saying this?
AJ is saying this about Nick.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Later, Nick leaves the hotel, signs some autographs, poses for pictures, and then he's in a limo, looking through the tinted windows, his long frame spread across the seat. He's a good-looking kid, with a flop of blonde hair and a broad, appealing face. Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
I really haven't been able to do the things that every normal kid gets to do, he says. I don't regret it because I love what I'm doing, but there's another side of me that wishes that I could have experienced those things, because I guess they are a really important part of everyone's life. He pulls his coat, a brown corduroy duster, closer around him.
Dusters are coming back in style.
Yeah, I guess.
So there you go.
In the front seat, his bodyguard stares straight ahead.
Does it say which one?
It doesn't. How would they know?
Yeah. Well, he knows everything else about this guy.
It affected me to the point where I can't look at things normal, and it continues. It's hard for me to get a grip on reality. When I'm in my room, it's almost like you feel like a king. I can't go outside and do anything, you know? I tried the other day. It's not that things happen. It's just that in the back of your mind, you know that there's always someone watching you. He pauses for a moment. That guy right over there. He doesn't have to worry about that, but I do. Sometimes I sit back and wonder what it would be like if it wasn't like this. Like normal kids, of course, Nick's got his hobbies. Drawing, boating, scuba diving, shooting hoops, and playing video games.
Well, pretty much still
Yes,
does all those things,
exactly.
yeah.
All the above.
And he's had girlfriends. In fact, not long ago, he broke up with one. His live-in of the last year or so. Are you sure? AJ's girls, Amanda said to Nick earlier today, because you just keep throwing her out and bringing her back.
I wonder which girlfriend that one was.
I don't know. Nick says flatly, it's been 2.5 weeks. So I guess that's...
All right, good job.
You know. But even so, he's come to realize how different he may be having grown up in the bubble. Like, I have other friends, but I can't really call them friends like the guys are to me. We love each other a lot. I mean, every part of what I am is a part of them. I'm a little bit of Howard, a little bit of AJ, a little bit of Brian, and Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, I've been in the business so much and seen so much stuff that it's almost like my feelings are kind of numb. It takes a lot for me to cry. I don't cry. You know what I'm saying? The things I've gone through, some of them are surreal.
This is troubling.
So things don't seem real to me. My ex-girlfriend used to get really mad because I wouldn't cry. I have just dried up tears, I guess you could say.
Aw, poor guy.
For a while... Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, Nick is silent again. The limo ambles along to the early part of the Manhattan night. He's got places to go. He will be getting there soon enough.
What?
Can you please scroll?
Is that the end?
This article because
I just closed it.
That's okay. Lydia?
What the hell was that?
Eric Hedgegard.
Eric, don't write a book or something. Jesus Christ. That was
Brutal,
difficult.
eh? Was
Yeah.
it brutal?
Okay, I thought it would be more fun than
It was
that.
good. Lydia had some faces. There were some good interjections. It was just long.
It was long.
Oh, no,
I
I
big
mean,
words.
yes, yeah, I guess so. The long, big words, the farts, the
Brutalness.
masturbating, so much happened.
Would you say it was a lot of argle bargle?
Lots of argle bargle, absolutely.
Anyways,
yeah.
the long and short point of this is that not much has changed in 20 years.
This is true. Yeah, very true.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like it was funny to see some of the things that they predicted not happen or whatever. But
Yes.
for the most part, personality-wise and stuff, I feel like they're still the same.
Yeah,
I don't
Nick's
know
not
if
so
Nick's
jaded.
that's
still
true.
a chronic masturbator. I don't know about that.
Do not ask.
I'm not going to ask him that.
Oh my god.
Just because I was thinking of tweeting it at him. Did not mean that the live should do that.
Oh boy.
All right. Well,
All right, buddy.
it's been an hour and a half.
Okay.
Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for